up there is your anterior vena cava. Okay, so the two veins that are bringing blood back from your entire body. Is this blood oxygenated or deoxygenated?
Deoxygenated.
And it's coming towards the heart, right? Because it's in a vein. So we've got deoxygenated blood being brought into your right atrium. Okay, that's the space up here. It's your right atrium. The flap here is the auricle of the atrium. So vena cavas bring blood into the right atrium, which comes down into the right ventricle, and it has to bypass the tricuspid valve. Okay, you know it's tricuspid on the right because right is spelled with 5 letters, which is an odd number, and tri is spelled with 3 letters, which is an odd number, so it goes together. All right. So you've got in here 3 valves. Let's see if we can find them all. Oh, so we've got one sort of right here, one right here, a second one right here, a third one right here. Like these are your tricuspid valves, okay? The little skinny, stringy thing, this is your chordae tendineae, and they attach to papillary muscles, which are these little folds of muscles that you see coming off the ventricle. Okay, and then this thick band here is your moderator band. That also clues you in that you're looking at the right ventricle. Okay, the moderator band is this nice thick band in there. Okay, moderator band. Now, blood is coming from atrium past your tricuspid valves into your right ventricle. The heart's going to contract. It's going to push blood out of the ventricle, but in order to make sure it doesn't go back up into the atrium, these tricuspid valves shut. Okay, from the pressure of the blood. And it sends the blood up and out via the pulmonary artery, okay, or pulmonary trunk. Alright, I like to be more specific and say artery because that way you remember it's not a vein. Alright, so it's a pulmonary artery, and that means it's going away from the heart, right? Is the blood in here? Normally blood in arteries is what? Oxygenated. But is this blood oxygenated? No. And it's going where? To the lungs, okay? The pulmonary artery is going to split. So you see there's this one area going right here, and then there's another one right here. Why is it splitting? Because you've got 2 lungs, right? So the pulmonary artery splits, and it goes up to the lungs. The blood gets oxygen, and it comes back to the heart via the pulmonary vein. Right? Normally veins have deoxygenated blood, but this time the veins are oxygenated, okay? So they come back in right in here. They're cut really close to the body, so you can't really see them. Like, there's probably one there and here and here and here or whatever, but right in the general area is where the pulmonary veins are coming back. And it brings it right into your left ventricle here. Oh, I skipped something real quick. Yeah, thank you. In order to get into the pulmonary artery, you have to bypass the pulmonary semilunar valve. So if you look inside the right atrium, not the right atrium, but the right ventricle area, this little connective tissue flap here, do you see it? This is kind of crescent shaped. That's your pulmonary semilunar valve. Alright, and what this does is it prevents blood in the pulmonary trunk from getting back into the ventricle. Alright, so it stops the blood backwards. Okay, so go to the lungs, pick it up, come back for pulmonary veins. I'm in the left atrium, and I go from the left atrium, which is spelled 4 letters, left, into the left ventricle. So there's one through the bicuspid valve. Bicuspid there, another cuspid here. Okay, 2. 2 is 2 letters, so 4 and 2 are even numbers, they go together, alright? So more chordae tendineae, more papillary muscles, no moderator band this time, because these walls are thick. They don't need to be protected. On the right side, the walls are thin, so when the blood is filling this cavity, you don't want the wall to just go shooting off, so you have your moderator band to help hold it into place, okay? So blood comes past your bicuspids into your left ventricle. All this nice thick meaty wall is going to contract the blood out to the rest of the body via what? Your aorta. Okay, so I just stuck it from the ventricle into the aorta. What valve do you have to bypass in order to get into the aorta?
Superior vena or?
No, the aortic semilunar valve. Okay, so it's pulmonary semilunar valve here, and it's aortic semilunar valve here. I can't really show it to you because of the way this thing is cut, but if you sort of look up the bottom of it and look down into the cavity, you can see there's a flap in there, and that's your aortic semilunar valve. So you can look that way if you want. So anyways, I am up and I'm coming out of my aorta here, right? Just above your little pulmonary trunk here. But also, branching off of your aorta is your brachiocephalic trunk. And I'm putting my blunt probe up in there right now, or trying to. So this is brachiocephalic trunk. You can't see it because it's covered in fat, but it connects to your aorta. Like if you see it, here's your aorta going here, and this is brachiocephalic trunk, and my blunt probe's in it right now. Okay? And then brachiocephalic trunk branches off again, see right here, and like carotid arteries and stuff like that, going up to the brain. So that's blood pathway through the heart. Another thing I want to show you before we move on is the outermost layer is a nice thick layer called the pericardium that's attached sort of like the dura mater of the heart. It's not here, okay? The outermost layer of the actual heart is this shiny connective tissue you can see. This is your epicardium, all right? The inner layer is all the muscle, which is myocardium, right? And then the inside part, the shininess on the inside, is endocardium, all right? Myocardium is muscle. And what do muscles need in order to contract? Blood. They need blood because what does blood have? Oxygen, okay? So, can I help you?
Sorry, I was looking for one of my friends there in a bio lab. They didn't know which one.
Okay.
That one?
Oh, wait.
Yeah.
Okay. Not like we're in class here. So, the other thing I want to show you is, do you remember what this structure was? The first thing I showed you.
Posterior.
Yes, posterior vena cava. Then, if you look and see where I'm poking this in, there's two holes. So, let me try and show it to you. Do you see how there's two holes up in there? Can you see them? It's sort of dark. There's one hole right above the other. Okay, so you'll have to actually handle one to see. But if you stick your hole in the bottom, your blunt probe in the bottom hole right here, you see how it's in a different artery? So this is your vena cava here. See, it's in something else right here. This is your coronary sinus. Okay, the heart is a muscle. It needs oxygen. This is the heart emptying the blood out of the myocardium into the right atrium so that it can bring blood to the pulmonary. It needs blood to beat, so this is it emptying its own blood supply. Okay, the heart has to feed blood to the heart. This is the one, those coronary arteries and veins, the ones that are in here and whatever, if those get blocked or clogged, that's when you have a heart attack because the oxygen's not getting to the heart and your heart can't beat anymore. Okay, so those are the ones you don't want to fill up with cholesterol and fat and whatever else you've got. Okay, so that's the blood flow through the heart. Not that hard, right?